In this video, I'm going to show you how to do adjustments in Photoshop. I have a just simple photo that I open. You can download it, save it in any folder, and just open it. And I want to show you how to change the colors of this photo and also change it to black and white, and just to just show you the different adjustments that are out there. So if you look at your layers palette, you have your background file, and above your layers palette you have your adjustments. If you don't see these, it might be on libraries. Yours might be on libraries right now, but you can click adjustments and see what you have. So if you highlight over these, it'll tell you what they do. So this one says brightness and contrast. This one is levels, which is like the color levels. You've got curves, which is an advanced feature. If you scroll down, you have hue and saturation, black and white. And these are photo filters, and so on. So you can experiment with all of these, but just to start with the basics, I use brightness and contrast quite a bit. So if you click this, it creates a new layer for you. So you can move this over and adjust to your liking, the brightness and the contrast. And once you have it the way you like it, you can just X this out, and you'll see that you have your two layers here. You have your background layer and your brightness and contrast layer. If you hit the eyeball, you can see the before, and now here's the brightness contrast. If you like it and you're ready to save, you can go to File, Save As, and you'll want to save it as a JPEG. So let's just save it to our desktop, so we'd be able to find it. And under Format, you can choose JPEG. So JPEG will take all of your layers and merge it into one, so it'll be one final file. So just save it as commencement, flattened. So it's a picture file. So I'm going to save this, and I'm going to go and open it. So you JPEG options, it'll come up and it'll say image options, quality high. I just usually hit OK, whatever options it gives me. Just hit OK. I'm going to go open that file just to show you what I mean. So File, Open, and I saved it to desktop. Let's see, lots of screenshots here. Commencement, there it is. So when you open this new file, you can see that it's one layer. So now it's the background layer, which includes the contrast one that I added and the original. So let's X that out. Now I want to crop the photo, and then I want to make it black and white. So let's delete this brightness contrast one. I don't want it anymore. And I want to first crop the photo. So here's my crop tool. If yours is stacked like this, it'll be the third one down. Hit my crop, and I'm just going to drag from the sides because I want it to be mainly the medallion. If you want a perfect square, you can adjust that in the ratio. So if I want to do 1:1 ratio, my perfect square will automatically, that way if I adjust it, it'll keep the dimensions of a square. And hit check. If you don't want that ratio, you can just hit original ratio, or you can make whatever ratio you want and make it, whatever cropped size that you want. But I'm just going to do the square for now. Hit check. So from here, I want to make it a black and white image. Super easy. I just hit black and white under the adjustments palette. Your colors here refer to what colors you want to brighten. Even though it's black and white, it'll either lighten up the color in the background. We know that the original photo is mainly blue, so if I adjust this, it's going to adjust a lot of the background color in the back. Even though it's gray, it's going to make it lighter gray or darker gray. I can also hit tint, change the tint color, and make it a black and white, but a tinted black and white. You can choose any color you want here, or you can uncheck it and just keep it regular black and white. Whenever you like it whenever you get it the way you want it, just X out, and you have your two adjustment. You have your adjustment, and then you have your background layer. Again, you would just save this like you saved the other one. So File, Save As, and choose JPEG. Choose where you want to save it and name it black and white file. Then hit save. I'm going to hit cancel to go back and do something different. If you don't want the black and white anymore, you can just drag this down and put it in the trash can. You no longer need it. So now I want to show you how to remove the background of this file. But first I want to show you how to remove the background in an easier way. So if I open this new file, which is the Kennesaw Mountain logo, This is what's called a vector file. We know it's vector because it has the nice clean lines here. So if I want to remove the background of this, it's going to be very easy because all the white is pretty much connected. So I can remove the white usually with one click, maybe a couple different clicks, and it'll just remove all the white. Whereas if I go back to this picture, it has multiple colors of blue. I can't just click this blue and remove it all because this blue is different than this blue. Let me show you what I mean. So if I go to the KSU Mountain logo, I can choose the Magic Wand tool. First thing I want to do is duplicate my background layer, if it'll let me. So I'm going to duplicate it right here on this new layer. So now I have two layers. I'm going to hide the original background layer. While I have this layer selected, I'm going to click into the white, and it shows me how much it selected. So it selected all of this white and all of this white. And I'm going to hit delete. And I'm going to do the same over here and hit delete. To unselect this, I call them the marching ants. To unselect the marching ants, go to select and then deselect. And they'll disappear. So now I have what's called a transparent picture. I can just go to File, Save As, and I want to choose PNG. The reason you choose PNG is because a PNG file allows you to have a transparent background. A JPEG will automatically add the white back, so you never want to remove a background and then save it as a JPEG because it's just going to add it right back. So let's save it to our desktop. I'm going to hit Save. Now I'm going to go to File, Open. Whoops, it's going to say PNG Options. Hit OK. I'm going to go to File, Open, and show you what it looks like when I open it. So KSU Mountain, copy, hit Open. And there it is with the transparent background. Here's what happens when I save it as a JPEG. File, Save As, JPEG. If I go to File, Open, and then open that JPEG version, there's the white background. It re-added it. So anytime you remove a background, you always want to save it as a PNG file. So let's go back to the original picture. Now that you learned the Magic Wand tool, I'm going to try to use the Magic Wand tool on this picture. I'm going to first duplicate my background, hide the original background. While this background is selected, I'm going to select the blue. So as you can see, it selected some of the blue, but not all of the blue. It didn't select any of the blue down here, and it's very spotchy in these places. I can hit delete, click over here, hit delete, and keep doing this, but it's not going to give me the effect that I want. It's going to look very pixelated and have all kinds of different leftover blue. So let's undo, and let's do it the more professional way for pictures like this on how to remove backgrounds. Now mind you, it's very, very tedious, and it takes a lot of practice to do correctly, but if you do it correctly, it'll be a lot more noticeable and a lot more appreciated than if you leave it messy. So let's go to Select, Deselect, get rid of all the marching ants. So my favorite tool is underneath this one. So you have your lasso tool, but underneath you have your Polygonal Lasso Tool. That's the one we're going to use, second one down. We're going to zoom in so we can see what we're doing. I'm going to use this to click along the edges. I'm going to click fast just for the video, sake of the video, but if you're doing this at home, you want to take your time. Make sure not to double click, because when you double click, it's going to think that you're finished and it's going to circle back to the beginning. I'm just going to use the top of the metal for right now. The more time you spend on this, the better, because it's going to be more accurate. Almost finished. Alright, so when you see that little circle appear, that means you have reconnected at the beginning. It's going to select everything. Now what I want to do is what's called a quick mask. This little tool here with the rectangle and the circle is going to add what's called a layer mask. So I'm going to click this. And now you see my original layer is here, and my layer part that I've removed is here. So I can actually go through here and actually adjust it with my brush tool. So when I turn on my brush, let's get it to a regular dot, regular circle, I can begin painting on and off the layer that I messed up. So so black paints off, white paints on. And I'll show you what I mean. So black is turned on. I can go around the edges here, get rid of any of the leftover that I messed up. Or if I decide I want to re-add it, I can toggle the colors to bring the white in front, and I can go through here and re-add the metal. Just to show you I'm not just painting black or white on, you can see I'm actually painting the picture back on. I'm going to toggle it again, and I'm going to paint the picture off. So let's say I want to only have the circular part of the metal. I don't want to have any of the blurred part in the background. To do this, I can just right click to increase the size of my brush and just start painting this stuff off. The reason you do the layer mask area and not just erasing is because it allows you to add on and take it back away without re-adding the image altogether. If you use an eraser, it's going to erase it permanently. With a quick mask, it only erases just temporarily until you decide that's the finished object. So when you're using the quick mask, you always want to make sure that you have this layer selected, because if you have this layer selected, you're going to be painting colors on. You're not going to be using it like an eraser. So my brush is on, for instance, and I have colors showing, which means I do not have the quick mask selected. When I select the quick mask, I have black and white again, which means I can paint on and paint off. So again, it's very tedious, but it will give you the look that you want a lot better than using an eraser. And it takes practice just like anything else. So this isn't perfect, but it does give you an idea on what you can do. And so we also, let's crop it to the size. Oh, it's on the ratio still. Let's go to original. I'm sorry, hit just ratio. Clear. And you can actually see my leftover here that I need to erase. So let's crop it and let's get rid of that leftover. If you're ever worried about what's left over, hit New Layer and go to Edit, Fill. And let's fill it with any color that will show up. So green might get the black to show up. Let's move that to the back. Now you can see all the mess up areas. So let's turn on our brush again and make sure that the black color is on front, and let's just delete all this leftover color. All it is pixel information, but we want to make sure that it's not there, so when we place it into InDesign, it doesn't look like it's leftover paint. Because this is how that would look. It's very messy. See right there, I accidentally erased too much. Let's toggle back and paint it back on. Magic. Alright. Looks good enough for now. Let's get rid of this background color. And now I want to save it as a PNG. Again, because JPEG will add a white background. So I go to File, Save As, and choose PNG from the options. So just to recap, when I need to remove backgrounds from a logo, like the KSU logo, where it's very easy vector graphic, I can just use the magic wand tool. When it's a more advanced JPEG photo or any other photo that has a gradient background or a busy background, you want to use the Polygonal Lasso Tool in combination with a layer mask so you can remove the background and re-add it if need be. You never want to just use the eraser, and you never just want to use the magic wand tool for something that has a busy background, because it's not going to select the whole background. I hope this helps.